Welcome everybody. Sorry, I was just clearing my throat. Welcome everybody to the 41st episode or live stream of the Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 Bare Bones Configuration live stream for finance and for Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations, not to be confused with Dynamics 365 CE or Field Service or something like that. So what I'm running for those of you in real time, I'm running a little bit late here, around about 30 minutes. For those of you not in real time, then I'm bang on time. And today what we're going to do is we're going to continue through some of the setup of the products in Dynamics 365. And in the previous live stream, what we did is we went out and we created some product or a product backpack, and then just created a product and set up some items. Now, what we're going to do today, and hopefully it's going to cooperate because it wasn't working in the last live stream, is I'm going to show you how to do a bulk import of data. And the products are a little bit different than than what we've done in the past with like vendors, where we've been able to go out and just use the Office integration. I use a different technique to go out and import in products, because you need the product master and you need the product, and there's all of these other things that need to be set up along the way for that product. So what I'm going to use, I'm going to use the data management. I haven't tried this for a while, so this will be interesting. It should work, and but if it doesn't, then we'll go and debug it and work out what we need to do. So let's move on and start. And let me pull up my face here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create some additional products. So if I go over to my product information management and go to my release products, then what we'll see is we've already got a backpack here. And if I go out and look at some of the other data, then what I've got is I've got some additional information here on the products that maybe we want to create some more items. So we've got some other storage items. We've got barrels and sacks, and we've got canvas bags and wicker baskets and cloth wrapping and other things that we want to set up in the system. We could do that one piece at a time, or one item at a time, but that gets a little bit repetitive if we have a lot of data that we need to set up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and work through the bare bones configuration guide and work through the steps, and just focus on one single item today, and that is to use the data import to create an import file that then we go out and maintain and create new items in it. So this is what we're going to do, and there's a number of steps here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an import template. I'm going to pull in the products. I'm going to export products. I'm going to modify them, add the new products, and then import them back in. And this is a really useful technique that we can use to go out and get bulk data in, which is different from just the standard integration. So let me just go over into Dynamics, and then what we're going to do is we're going to look at that. So what we want to do is we want to go into the data management framework. So this is a workspace that I use to go out and import and export products. And as you can see, I've already done some importing here. I forget, maybe I did this earlier on. And the process that we go through for importing in bulk data, like a lot of data, is that I go out and I export what's in the system to give me all the templates, and then I modify that to make an import file so that then I can go out and use it. So let's work through that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the exports, and I'm going to create an export package. And this is going to be products, and this is going to be the description is going to be products. And then let me just, okay. And this is going to be an export function. So now that I've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an entity here. And let's go and do a check here. So what we want to do is, okay, so there's only one here. What we want to do is we want to choose a special entity that we have here, which is called the released product creation. Now, this entity is has got multiple parts to it, and or multiple entities. So it understands the parent and child hierarchy. And then what I want to do is I want to say that I want to export this. I want to create the export as an Excel, and then I'm going to just add this to my project. So now I've got my export project here. Then what I want to do is I'm going to run this export. And I think I remember back, I did this with the customers. But we're going to look at this and look at this again. So I'm going to run this, and I'm going to keep on refreshing. So it takes it'll take between 1 second and 60 seconds to run, or to start running, because I think it's on a 1-minute timer. And what we've now got is we've got the export has completed, and it says that it exported one item. So that's good. So now I want to download the package, and I want to create a package. And then I'm going to save this, and let me save that to my desktop. And then I'm going to open up my desktop. So what this has done is this has created a zip file for me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to extract this out. I think I can do it here. Okay, actually. I'm not going to do that. Let me extract it out again. Then we just delete these, keep things tidy. So what I'm going to do here is I've now got the details of this package, and we can see that we've got this released product creation item here. So I'm going to open this Excel spreadsheet. And what we've got here is a Excel spreadsheet with all the information that's required to create a new product. So we don't have a lot of information that's here, but what I can do is I can go out and I can add another item. So this is going to be SAC, and the product name is going to be SAC, and the product search name is going to be storage SAC. So let's edit that. And then, so I've now, let me go over to here. So as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm filling in everything that is name related. And let's add another one. And let's add a barrel. And barrel has, I'm just checking here, barrel has got 1 L. This is going to be BARL as the search name. Then we'll go over to here, and we'll have the search name here as well. So I've got 2 additional items here. Now, the reason why I just filled in the name and the search name is because we also need to have all of this additional information loaded here. So all I do is I go out and say, I know that the unit of measures are going to be consistent with this. So I just go and fill in from the first example that I've got down for the other items. And then also, because I've already set this up, I know that these values are correct. And in this case, I'm still storing everything in the location. I have no tracking dimensions. It is in the service type. And now I've gone out and created some additional items here. I'm still keeping the backpack in here because I can do some clever things with that. Let's close this down. So now that I've got this, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this and I'm going to zip it back up again. And so now I've got a zip file, and let me just move this out of here and put it down into the parent level. So now I've got a zip file which has all the same manifest and the package information that I had before, but I've updated the main details that are in there. So now what I'm going to do is I've done that. Let's go back here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do an import. So if I look at my import projects, I'm going to do an import, and this is going to be product import. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a file here, and it's going to be a package, and I'm going to upload from the desktop this zip file that I created. So it's now processing that. It already understands the components that are in here. And then I've now got a line in, I've now got my release product creation showing up here inside of the line. So now what I can do is I can say, I want to import this. So now it's scheduled that job. So we exported the data out, and now we're importing the updated package in. And I'm going to refresh this. While that's happening, I'll get a coffee. So now it's running, and it's taking all of those items. So I've got 3 items that's pending that need to be imported. And then I'm going to just run this, and it's doing everything in the background for me for the creation of the product. And so let's have a look. It actually went out and partially succeeded. So let's see, 2 were created, 0 were updated. So then let's have a look, and we'll go into the staging data. Okay, and this is fine because what it says is the backpack was already in there, so it's not importing them in, but the barrel and the sack were actually imported. And that sort of makes sense because this is the product. This is the product creation function. So if, for example, I'd wanted to do this again or go out and create another update, then what I can do is I'd probably go and modify the Excel spreadsheet, copy down all the main information, and then delete the first row. But this doesn't really hurt anything. The creation of the product isn't that big of a deal. And then also the good thing is that if I keep on adding items to this, even though it will fail on the items that are already there, then if I have a completely blank system, then I can go out and I can run this, and it will import them all in. So that's the good news. So let's have a look at this, and let's go into one of the workspaces, which is the release product maintenance. So this is now that we've imported in the products. Let's see. Then we're actually getting some good information that's coming through here. So we can see that we now have a barrel and a sack configured here along with the backpack. And the cool thing is the images showing up that we added. This is also showing us that we've got some product violations that in here it's missing two fields. But I can go into my release products, and now I can see that I've got a backpack, a barrel, and a sack. And if I go into the barrel, then what we're going to see is we're going to see some of this information in here. And then if I look at the barrel, let's go and make some adjustments here. So I'm going to say that I'm just looking at the retail price for the barrel is $8.40. So when I purchase this is 8 Faerûnian standard dollars. And when I sell this is going to be 12.6 Faerûnian standard dollars, which for those of you that are interested, then that's one gold piece. So one barrel, if you're going to buy a barrel from the Waterdeep Trading Company, then it's going to be one gold piece in itself. Now, if I look over here, then I can also go out and I can, let me see if I've got a barrel. And what I'm doing here is I actually don't have a picture for a sack, but we can go out and we can copy this. I can go into the barrel. I can do my manipulation. I can open up the pictures here. I should be able to pull in the barrel. And now I've got the image of the barrel showing up alongside of all the details that I've got. So there's still some triage that we need to do here in the items, but it's not a lot of work that we need to do. Something else that we can do that I like to do is that once we've got our products showing up like this, then since we have a little bit of time, then what I do is I go and insert columns here. And I'm going to look for price. And I'm going to choose the 3 price fields that look the same. And I'm going to add them here into my view. So now we can see the $8.40 and the $12.60. Then also what I can do is I'm going to hide this field. I'm going to hide this field. Hide this column, hide all this. And then I'm going to save this view as my pricing view. And so now what I've got is I've got the products that I imported in. And then I can go out and I can fix up some other data that I've got here. So a backpack is actually, the wholesale price is going to be 30 Faerûnian standard dollars, which is going to be 3 Faerûnian gold pieces. And the retail price is going to be 45. And then the sack, when we buy that, if I'm looking at my cheat sheet that we've got here, sack is 0.8. Sacks are pretty cheap by themselves. And then the sales price for that is 1.2. So for those doing the math, then you can buy 1 sack for 1 Faerûnian silver piece. Then also, if you'll notice here that there's another column here, which is actually the inventory price. And I'm going to inventory at the purchase price and update that information as well. And now when I go into the individual items, then I'll notice that the price has been updated here for the purchase price, for the sales price it should have been updated, which is 120. And then if I go down to the inventory, then my inventory cost, which is somewhere in there, managed costs down here. My inventory cost for the item is 0.8. So that's what I'm going to use if I was using standard costing for the cost price for this item. Since I'm using FIFO, then it's actually going to be whatever I purchase the item at. But the standard inventory cost is 0.8 Faerûn standard dollars. So now we can go ahead and save that. And then now we've got all of these items in here. If I wanted to go out and create more items, then all I do is run through the same process and use this template that I created here, add more products to the release products, and then import them in. So this was really what I wanted to get to today. It wasn't, I think it was a lot, because we're going out and we're doing the data import for release products, and release products have got a special way that we can go and import them in, which we can't really do as easily as we could with like the vendors. We found that we could just use the Office import function for this. But this is a really useful technique, and as we move through and as we get more data in here, then we'll probably use this to load in the bulk of the data, because I've got, I think, like 1,400 products to set up, and doing that by hand is just going to be really painful. So let me just find my mouse. So with that said, what we're going to do is we're going to finish off today. This was a little bit of a late and a shorter session. It's only around about 20 minutes or so, but hope this was useful, and I hope it was interesting for explaining how you can go out and how you can use the data import function within data management to bulk upload products in the system. Technique that I use all the time to go out and get a lot of information. Be warned, if you load in like 50,000 Lego pieces, then be prepared to wait for it for a while, because it does it's running a lot of stuff in the background, so it does take time. So when you import in products, do it in manageable chunks, because then you'll actually see some progress over time as it sort of moves through. So if you'll like what we're doing here, then you can go to the link that we've got up there, the QR code, or just go to patreon.com/ADND365 and support this project. Every silver piece helps. And if you want to follow along and do this yourself and use the bare bones configuration guides, then just go to ADND365.com/start, and you can actually pick up the books there and invest in your training and your learning along the way. So with that said, we'll stop running through this. I think I'm looking at the LinkedIn, and maybe it's a little bit sketchy. So hopefully the recording is going to be a lot cleaner when we finish this. And so watch out for the next live stream. According to what I've got on the list, what we're going to do is we're going to create some service items. So the service items are going to be products that we're not inventorying, and they're going to be services like magical services or other non-tangible items that we may be selling. So with that said, we'll swap off, and I'll catch you on the next live stream.